move to become a Knight of Malta and the reasoning of doing so, do you believe it was because he had this inferiority in the sense that he was from a somewhat poor background, but had associations with people that were quite rich up in nobility and wanted to have that status?
Well, we're going back to 1607, 1608, just in the aftermath of the castration murder of Tomasoni. Basically, Caravaggio is screwed because Tomasoni is connected. Caravaggio is connected. He's got his cardinal, Cardinal del Monte, and his cardinal's got him off a load of stuff. But this one, you know, you've tried to castrate the guy and you've killed him. We can't get you off this one. You're going to have to go and run. And so Caravaggio finds himself under a banda capitale from Scipione Borghese, who's the head of the papal justice system, who's also a collector of Caravaggio's paintings. But Scipione Borghese is compelled by Tomasoni's position. He has to set an example. And he says, right, anybody who can bring me Caravaggio's body will be given the reward. And if you can't bring me the body, just bring me the head. Bring me the head of Caravaggio and I'll give you the reward. Caravaggio goes up into the Alban Hills. Why? Because that's where the Colonna have their fiefdom, near Rome. So he heads up into this wild mountain territory to this huge Colonna-controlled castle. And he sends down the famous painting of David with the head of Goliath, which is Caravaggio's own head, which is now in the Borghese Gallery. He sends that painting down, and it's a plea bargain. It's sent to Scipione Borghese in the Colonna's carriage. Here's a gift from the painter Caravaggio. What is it? It's his head. You asked for his head in real life. He's going to give it you in a painting. Spare him. But he doesn't spare him. He can't. His hands are tied. So Caravaggio goes further south. He goes to Naples, where the Colonna, again, have a huge palace called the Caia, the palace. And again, you know, we are very blessed with archival information to do with Caravaggio, because very recently, or, you know, 20 years ago, what they discovered was this amazing little letter from one of the diplomatic envoys in Naples saying, Costanza Colonna is here at the moment. She just arrived with her son, who's called Fabrizio Sforza Colonna. Now, Fabrizio Sforza Colonna is the head of the Knights of Malta fleet. He is the admiral of the fleet. But not only that, he is a reformed criminal. He did something so terrible that he was sentenced to death by the Pope. And it was only when Costanza Colonna went on her knees to the Pope, pleading for mercy, that the Pope said, okay, I won't have him executed, but he has to go to Malta and he has to spend 5 years there. And if he can show me that he's reformed, I will pardon him. And so Colonna went to Malta. This is Costanza's son, same age as Caravaggio, went to Malta, and he did so well, he became admiral of the fleet. And we know from this amazing letter that he's there at the same time that Caravaggio is there. And if you look at the date when Caravaggio would have been made a Knight of Malta, it's exactly a year after the date of that letter. So in other words, Caravaggio must have gone to Malta with Fabrizio Sforza, Costanza's son, who had just picked up a boat from Marseille, a new galley, and he was sailing to Malta. Caravaggio must have gone because it was exactly a year to the day of arriving in Malta that you could be made a Knight of Malta. So clearly what's happened here is that Costanza has thought, bloody hell, Caravaggio in trouble again. How can I get this boy to behave? Well, I know, I'll do what I did with my son. I will send him to Malta. Fabrizio, take this boy, Caravaggio, take him to Malta, beat some sense into him, and maybe he can be pardoned. It's the only way that Caravaggio is going to get a pardon. If you become a Knight of Malta, you are the slate is wiped clean. It doesn't matter what you've done. If you become a Knight of Malta, because the Knights of Malta are this sort of guerrilla warfare force. They're a Christian version of Al-Qaeda. They wreak terrorist havoc in Morocco among the Turkish and African Muslim populations. That's what they do. They do bad stuff, but they do it on behalf of Christianity. They do the dirty work. They're the last place. They're the final frontier of the Christian world. They've lost nearly their entire population to a siege. They're the heroes. So if you become one of them, you're untouchable. You're a made man, in Scorsese's terms. You like the gangsters, they always want to become a made man.
Yeah.
Because then you're untouchable. That's what Caravaggio would be if he managed to do it. And of course, it's great for Malta, because Malta, after the siege, and Malta became so famous, money has poured into Malta. They've got this amazing new late Renaissance Baroque city, Valletta, but no artists want to go there because it's such a godforsaken desert place. And the only people there are kind of aristocratic, thug, lunatic terrorists and prostitutes and a few people selling vegetables. I mean, that's what it is. There's nothing there. So the Grand Master of the Maltese Lodge has constantly tried to get artists, and even get some of them to get as far as Naples, and then they never get on the boat. They all say, "No, I'm sorry, I'm ill. I don't feel well. I don't want to." So fine, now he's got the best artist in the world in Malta. So it's all perfect. And Caravaggio paints these incredible pictures. And they agree to make him a Knight of Malta. The guy, even the Grand Master, even writes to the Pope asking permission to make him a Knight of Malta. And it's all going to happen. And then Caravaggio has to screw it up.
Thank you for watching this video. To listen to the full podcast, click the link in the description below.